Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Barakatah.
Barakatah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Barakatah.
Barakatah.
Waha.
Waha.
Rakah.
Rakah.
Kodash.
Kodash.
A double honor to the apostles, the elders, and salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. Hey, today's lesson is going to be a quick lesson. It's more so of a current event. We're going to go into an article, and it's really just going into shameful spewing on America, man, because we know that this place is spiritually Babylon the Great. We know that this place is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah, man. You know, this place is the hub of wickedness, and that's one of the key reasons why Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shai is going to destroy this demographic. And not to mention that he has enslaved not only the Israelites, but the Most High's chosen elect, that special class within that class, okay? Got something?
Yeah, can I get a precept?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8.
Okay.
For thus says the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoil you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
Right, because we're the Most High's firstborn, meaning that we are his chosen people. Okay, we are the apple of Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shai's eye, man. We came here not to evolve, not to progress within the society. We came here to basically be punished, okay, to receive those punishments because of the righteous indignation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shai, and then go to the kingdom of heaven, beginning with the elect. All right? But who has spoiled us, man? All right? Hey, these modern day Egyptians going into the Edomites, all right? The red man, the so-called white man. These are the spoilers, man. And we are the prey, man. And that's why we are hastening the day, okay? We need to be redeemed, man. It's like me and the elder was talking about. It's no way out, man. Regardless what you do, regardless of what type of things you try to do to balance yourself out, yeah, it's good for your spirit at that time frame, but at the end of the day, you wake back up in this man's system.
That's right.
You got something?
Yeah, I had a comment
Go ahead, bro.
at the bottom of the article from Ivan 88. It says the English called the natives in North America Americans and were afraid that their freedoms would infect the English colonists. The English colonists were essentially illegal immigrants that rampaged across North America.
So basically what this comment is saying, hey, you English colonists, all right, you so-called white man, you Edomite, you are the real criminals, man.
And the true illegal aliens.
Yeah, and you are the true illegal aliens, man. All right, because hey, these were the Gadites land before you got here, man. Well, what did you do? You conquered this land and you enslaved our people, man. You know, and so you go on in this society because you have the sword given to you by Isaac, spiritually Yahweh Shai, and you're ruling at this time frame, man. It's appointed to you. That's why Esau is not afraid of militant Negroes, man. All right? Because, hey, he's afraid of the prophets, man. And then we're talking about the elite because they understand the magnitude of prophecy, man.
It says the English colonists were essentially illegal immigrants that rampaged across North America.
And that's what you did. You rampaged across North America, man. All right? And now your prodigy or your offspring is receiving the fatness of the earth, man. Okay, and through reincarnation, it's the same people coming back in the same lot.
Murdering and stealing until natives were smashed.
And that's what you do. You murdered then and you murder now. Okay, and right now, basically, what do you do through your policies? Okay, through chemical warfare, through your media, so on and so forth, man. Because why? The spirit within your body is not upright, man. It's fucking wicked.
It says now these illegal immigrants called themselves Americans. You know, so go back to the point to kind of cover it. It said the English called the natives in North America Americans and were afraid that their freedoms would infect the English colonists. The English colonists were essentially illegal immigrants that rampaged across North America, murdering and stealing until natives were smashed. Now these illegal immigrants call themselves Americans. And it's talking about the so-called white man. The so-called white man and so-called white woman now call themselves American. They don't acknowledge themselves as being of a particular nationality or particular race, what do they say? When you ask a proud, patriotic Edomite, who are you or where you from? I'm American.
Yeah.
America, no place else.
Yeah.
You know? But there are original people here upon this land, man.
Right.
You know? But somebody has to pay for that. I'm going to finish up this last little verse. It says, and these illegal immigrants took the immense wealth of America and spent most of it on war, and they expect God to overlook their crimes.
Right, right. So this so-called person who basically wrote this statement knows a little bit. But not only did Esau take over America, he has the whole world, man. Okay? The whole entire earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. All right?
All right, this is from the PressTV.com called Trump's Nazi-like Policies Awakening Americans on the Horrors of Immigration. All right. And it says, U.S. President Donald Trump's Nazi-like policies are awakening Americans on the horrors of immigration, says Miles Holnick, an American political analyst and activist. Holnick, a former Green Party candidate for Congress, made the remarks in an interview with Press TV on Tuesday on Trump's controversial immigration policy, which is separating families and causing psychological damage and irreversible harm to children.
Right, right. And so that goes to show you that this man comes back in his lot, because he did the same thing during slavery. And I'm going to get a quick precept out of it. It's going to be Joel 3:1.
That's why the scriptures say that there is no new thing under the sun. Mm-hmm. And the 12 tribes of Israel are steady being persecuted up until salvation comes, man. Right. And because the Heavenly Father has his whipping stick, who's the so-called white man, out there just tearing up the asses of the tribes, man. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. And even the concept of running onto this man for succor, so to speak, it's idol worship, man.
That's right.
Because the tribes, the nation of Israel outside of the Most High's hopefully elect, are constantly looking into the so-called white man to breastfeed them, man. Mm-hmm. And the Heavenly Father is constantly reminding you that I am He. I said the Lord Yahweh, man. Mm-hmm. All right.
A quick precept.
Go ahead.
And this is Isaiah 42, Isaiah 42:22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth.
And that's why the whole entire world looks upon the Israelites as insignificant people, man. Mm-hmm. You know, go ahead.
For a spoil, and none saith restore.
And nobody comes to our aid.
That's right.
Nobody's out there fighting for the so-called Mexicans, mm-hmm. which are our Israelite brothers.
That's right.
Nobody's out there on the border protesting with them, mm-hmm. you know. And because even that whole little ordeal, dilemma that's happening at the border, that's nothing, man.
That's right.
Hey, the true depth of Esau's crimes are deeply rooted into the soil, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right. It states, who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? And only the elect, the prophets, all right, the men that are capable of breaking down the scriptures in the correct format, man. All right, this is the point. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord Yahweh? He against whom we have sinned, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. And
that's why this is happening, man.
That's right.
The whooping stick of the Heavenly Father, which is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, all right? He's using it and utilizing that tool to whip us back into shape.
That's right.
But only the elect are going to take heed to that symbolism, man. Mm-hmm. You know? And because there's two ways things go after a so-called corrective action. You correct the action and go down a correct path, or you continue down the wrong path, man. Mm-hmm. 2/3 of our people are going to continue down the wrong path and ultimately be destroyed.
Right.
You know? But at the same time, the Heavenly Father is not going to hold his whipping stick guiltless. Mm-hmm. Because although the so-called white man is out there persecuting us, rape, robbing, and murdering us, manipulating us, stealing from us, doing all these things contrary to what is right, the Heavenly Father is still going to require all of his acts mm-hmm. by his blood. All right? Because the scripture says that every man's works, all right, shall be judged. All his deeds, whether they be good or whether they be evil. All right. So the Heavenly Father still has the judgment prepared for this man.
Right.
But all these things have to take place. Israel has to be persecuted. All right. The so-called white man has to show his horns. All of the nations have to look upon and witness the loins of his skirt being uplifted to where he's fully revealed. But the end is going to come after the Heavenly Father's word is preached throughout the four corners of the earth, man.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Isaiah 10:5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation.
Hey, because scripture talk about us sinning and our rock having sold us, man. So our power is the one that put us in this so-called predicament. Go ahead.
I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets.
Yep, and that's what happened, man.
That's right.
So the only thing you can do is because you can't do nothing against the truth. You can't do anything contrary to the Heavenly Father. All right. So the only thing you can do is return back unto Him. All right. The Book of Ruth talks about that, on how it was our mind to go astray originally, man. So now returning back, it says seek Him 10 times more. That's what it's all about, because the scriptures, as it's written, said, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. I don't care if you're in Mexico. I don't care if you're in Guatemala. I don't care if you're in Jamaica. I don't care if you're in the United Kingdom. All right? It doesn't matter, because those lands are not your original lands. We all come from Israel. We all come from Jerusalem, man. All right?
All right. Our last precept. This is Joel 3:2. Slakia. Joel 3:3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine.
That's a separation. That boy and that daughter or that girl were brothers and sisters, man. The same thing is happening at the border. Right. What do you think is happening in these so-called detention centers, or these better youth facilities that they have out there, where you have infants, you have toddlers, you have adolescents, you have teenagers. All right, you have all these groups of people. At the same time, back during the time of Hurricane Katrina, when those mass groups of people were all inside that Superdome, what was happening? Women were getting raped. All right, people getting robbed. People were committing homicide. So what do you think is happening in these so-called detention centers? The media, or that tube that we look upon, is projected by someone who's in control of it. So that they allow you to see what they want you to see, man. That's right. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, we know through the Spirit that the wickedness that we see the so-called white man do is nothing but a tip of the iceberg. And more so less than that.
All right, let me finish it off. This is back in Joel 3:3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yep.
So so the so-called white man constantly repeats history when it comes to the 12 tribes, man. You know, is that a point?
Yeah, last one. Deuteronomy 28:41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
And he's snatching up the children, man. Hey, because so-called Mexicans trying to come here for a better life, better situation, and the so-called white man is looking at him as a terrorist, man. He's looking at him as an indegenerate or a degenerate.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And you got an individual who sacrificed everything. They have nothing but probably 20 pesos in their pocket.
Right.
They got a water bottle in their pocket.
Right.
One shirt in their back.
Right.
You know, and trying to make this journey in 1 or 2 days.
That's right.
And you look at them, oh God, they're gonna take our job. Half of the so-called people without papers don't even speak English, man.
That's right, and that's the point. You know, Esau tries to make it seem like they're coming over here taking all the jobs, but like you say, they don't even speak. Majority of them don't speak English. You know, they don't have no money. You know, and they're coming with only the clothes they have on their backs, man. Right. So these our people are just trying to get over here for a so-called better life, man. But when they get over here, they find out that hell, they should have stayed where they was at because this is worse than hell.
Because you can't escape the curses.
Yeah.
That's why you have to come to the realization of who you are as a people, man. Because you're running from a very, very dire situation, okay, a troublesome situation, and running right back into another one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like us leaving to this very day and saying, oh man, I'm sick of the way I get treated in America, and we go to the United Kingdom and suffer racism there. Because that spirit of Israel follows you throughout the entire planet Earth, man. It's like a constant a storm cloud that follows you wherever you go. Yeah, the Heavenly Father eases it up sometimes, but ultimately we're still under the curses. Our women are still under the curses. Our sons and daughters are still under the curses. Our parents and grandparents are still under the curses.
Precept, Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh, thy power to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And that's what happened. Through the process of elimination, what other people upon the planet Earth, man, have gone through the curses that are written in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, man.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
You want to read some one article?
Yeah, yes.
All right. Back in the article, it said the U.S. government said on Monday that the number of migrants dying from extreme heat on the U.S.-Mexico border rose 55% in the past 9 months, following an increase in the number of unaccompanied children and families trying to enter the U.S. This is a quote. It says, there's a raging debate inside the United States on how migrants seeking asylum ought to be treated once here. That's how a sense of humanity that people show concern. On the other hand, it also shows the barbaric treatment.
But look at the discrepancy of America. Meanwhile, you go over Syria, and you'll tell Saddam Assad that basically, hey, this is how you're supposed to be treating your people. But at the same time frame, look how you're treating our people, man. All right, so it's basically a double standard, man. You are the ultimate hypocrite, man. That's why we call you the devil, man. You are that deceiver, man, that the Bible speaks of. Make it seem like you are a righteous man, that you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and then you break all 613 of them, man.
It says it also shows the barbaric treatment of people who seek refuge by the receiving government and is supported by so many, Holnick said.
Right, because if you go into the term refuge, it means to flee back, man. All right? So ultimately, spiritually, who are we supposed to flee back to? Yahweh Bashem Awashah. All right, by you coming over here to America, man, it's not going to get any better, man. You have to literally sell your soul to progress or thrive within this man's system, man. And then once you do that maneuver, it only gets worse, man. Because now you done sold your soul, and you realize once you get something, you get all these satanic goodies. The gift destroys the heart, and basically it was never worth it, man. That's why our people be in so much distress and have so much vexation, because they're saying, God damn, it was better when we were broke, man. So like the elders stated before, we went live, it's literally no fucking way out, man. But Yahweh Hashem Awashah.
It says, this latest round of America First zero tolerance policy of rejecting all newcomers is just that. The latest round. The separation of families in America is as old as America. Mm-hmm. From Africans enslaved here, so let's put the correct word, from Israelites enslaved here to the genocide of our First Nations to the internment of Japanese Americans.
That's right.
The U.S. has a long-standing history of separating parents from their children and other family members from each other, he stated.
Mm-hmm. So this is actually shameful spewing upon America, man, because this how you know that Esau is losing his grip in his so-called kingdom, man, because 20, 30 years ago, these articles never would have been published like that. On a type of format. What is that, Press TV or RT?
Press TV.
On Press TV, man. All right, these other nations, the Most High is putting in their spirit to go against this white man, this so-called white man. Why? Because, hey, his kingdom, the sun is about to set upon his kingdom, man.
That's right. And his kingdom is crumbling right before your eyes, man. The scriptures talk about how a house divided shall not stand.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And this place is divided, man.
Mm-hmm.
Every particular group is a set of the opposing factor or in opposition or at each other's necks and throats. And we're talking about the Dukes of Edom here, man. We're talking about Esau, Edom himself. All right?
Mm-hmm. I got a precept. This is Habakkuk actually 2 and start at 15. It states, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered." This article. Then it states that basically there's nothing new under the sun, that how they're separating our so-called, well, our people now. They did that with us when they had gave us that proverb being Africans, man. So this is shameful spewing on Esau's kingdom. And if you know anything about shameful spewing, if you go into the etymology of that term, it's basically coming out like vomit, like gushing out, man. So the Most High is bringing so much information regarding the wickedness of this man. It's in a spewing format.
Yeah, it's overflowing.
It's overflowing.
And you bring this term out, you know, with this category out a lot about the old mafia movies. In the old drug lords and mafia kings, the women and the children were off limits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But Esau, being the pure devil that he is, nobody's safe around him.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right. Back into Habakkuk 3:16, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also," meaning you're going to get this same punishment. All right? Because the curses is going to attach to you too, man. Because the Most High is uplifting the curses off of us. Why? Because we're at the end of this thing, man. All right, so it states, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory," man. And that's why it's important for the prophets to be out there prophesying. This is a part of that shameful spewing, man, coming out of the mouth of the Most High. Right. What is the mouth of the Most High? His men, man. The shameful spewing upon America.
Now you good. It's 4 more paragraphs, so you want to finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, "Very limited in their scope of understanding, most Americans are seeing the problem at the border, taking sides on what is right for America and what is right for human beings. Rarely do Americans look beyond the border, as we are seeing an uptick in deaths of migrants before they cross the Rio Grande or the U.S.-Mexico border. It doesn't matter or is even known or understood why so many are migrating to the U.S.
Because you're in search for a so-called better life, man. All right? Because Esau used witchcraft through his media, okay, to make it seem like it's heaven on earth here, and when you get here, you find out it's total hell.
Right. And then what Issachar does as well, they'll come over here and work some jobs on it and get paid under the table and have that money converted and send it back home, or send that money back home and they convert it there for a higher rate, man. You know, so you know, at the end of the day, you know, so you got your good and you got your evil, you know, throughout the entire planet Earth, but they put the Israelites in one category without calling them Israelites, but they're all bums, they're all terrorists, they're all rapists, they're all robbers, and they're all murderers, man. Mm-hmm. So that's why every time you see something that is placed side by side with an Israelite male or female, it's always something negative. Mm-hmm. When it's something placed side by side with a so-called white man, a white person, it's always sunshine, it's always something positive, always something very soft and sweet and caring. When that's not in their DNA. It says, continuing, it says, "To many, it's to take jobs away from Americans, as if competition from people who do not speak English come with just a shirt on their backs, emotionally and financially traumatized, is a threat to someone's occupation. Are these frightened Americans so unemployable that these migrants are a threat?" the analyst said.
And no, they're not. They're not a threat. Okay, because Esau controls the system, so Esau can usher jobs whomever he wants to. All right, that's propaganda when he's saying that they're coming over here taking all our jobs. That's bullshit. And it's gonna explain in the article what happened to all these jobs in America, man. All right, you had NAFTA, okay, when all these jobs was outsourced to these smaller countries, for lower pay, man.
Yeah, Taiwan, Thailand, other sweatshops in China and Japan.
That's right.
They outsource all that for pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Even these Jordans that Jake stand in line for and shoot each other for are made from between $3 to $5, man.
That's right.
In a sweatshop in if I'm not mistaken, it's in one of the Asiatic countries, man. I have to look it up again. It's been a few years since I looked it up, But they ship it back over here and sell for 200 plus.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It says, rarely does a U.S. citizen question the true causes of this migration. NAFTA, free trade agreements, collusion between U.S. corporations and corrupt government officials south of the border have destroyed the local economies from where these migrants come. Mm-hmm. That so many die along the way or have to take La Bestia, also known as the train of death, to arrive in the U.S. is of little concern or knowledge to most north of the border, he noted. Mm-hmm. The deaths in the desert are just a drop in the bucket when one looks at the overall picture of mass migration with the Nazi-like brutality of the Trump administration's policies towards immigrants. At least now, more and more Americans are seeing things with eyes a little bit more open, the activist concluded. Mm-hmm. I got a precept. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Yeah, and all these policies are unrighteous decrees, man. For the simple fact, they don't better society. Only the law, statutes, commandments better society, man. Okay? When Esau comes with his policies, they're first and foremost there to oppress the Israelites. And then these so-called other nations, man. That's why he brings out these tariffs, so he can oppress them as well, man. Get them to move the way he wants them to move, man. He's the puppet master, and beginning with our nation, we are the puppets. However, these other nations are joint heirs with this man at this time frame.
That's right.
Because they're thriving in this system as well, man.
Because throughout the entire planet Earth, all very luxurious and beautiful places have been ridding of their resources, and who is there in control? The so-called white man. The so-called white man came to the Americas and rid the people who were here living in peace and built up what you see today by their blood, sweat, and tears, man. Mm-hmm. All right, this is the last precept I got here. Let's share something else. It says Proverbs chapter 23, verse 10. Mm-hmm. It says, remove not the old landmark and enter not into the field of the fatherless.
And that's what Esau has done, man. He has removed all the landmarks, man. Okay? He has the land of Ham identified as Africa now, man. Okay? So this is what this man does. He's in total control, and that's actually a commandment. You do not supposed to move the ancient land. It's like you're not supposed to move the landmarks, man. But he does that because at the same time frame, he's trying to hide his identity as an Edomite, man. But while at the same time heaping all these nations to himself for their resources. Because once you control the resources, you control their nation, man. This man is the God of this world.
That's right.
Hey, bro, give me Isaiah 47, and you can from 1 to 3.
Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Right, and the virgin daughter of Babylon is America. And the reason why she's a virgin, because war has never been on this landmass, okay? Another country hasn't actually came upon this. All these incidents that you've seen with September of 9/11, those were false flag incidents, man. Meaning that he does this shit himself just to oppress people with more policies, man. Hence the Patriot Act. Go ahead, bro.
Sit on the ground. Mm-hmm. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Right, and the reason why she's going to sit on the ground, because basically she's going to be low esteemed. She's going to be in a lower state, okay? Because the Most High is going to send nuclear destruction to destroy this place. Go ahead, bro.
For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
And at this time frame, spiritually, America is being assassinated via the prophets. Hence the term shameful spewing upon America, man. Go ahead, bro.
Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg.
Right, and that's part of that shameful spewing, basically letting people know, letting these our people know, and these other nations know what America is really like, what America is really about. America is the built on blood, man. That's why it's identified in the scripture as the bloody city. Go ahead.
Uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers.
And we're doing that based on the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shai. Okay, based on the faith He has given us, man, to prophesy against this place. All right, because part of their judgment is declaring the crimes upon this place, man. All right, nothing new is under the sun. That's what we've been doing through the past reincarnations, man. We always prophesy against great kingdoms, man.
Verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen.
Right, and we're seeing the nakedness being uncovered. We're seeing the shameful spewing upon America, man. Even these Edomites are fighting against each other. They're letting the public know, like, hey, this city is built upon blood. This city is basically separating the so-called Mexicans and dividing families dividing families, separating their children from their parents, man. But meanwhile, you'll go to other places and you instruct them on the way to live or what they should be doing.
It says, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Right, and we seeing the shame upon America at this time frame. And when Yahushua returns, He's coming back in an angelic spiritual body, man. Last time He came here in the flesh, but this time He's going to be in that spiritual body, man. Yes, sir. You can get that arise these not that rest.
Okay.
Too. Because that's why we have to be redeemed, man. We're not gonna basically be saved no other way. It has to be spiritual, man. You know, we have to have faith because trying to come upon this system, man, you gotta die. And people that does that, they're set up, man.
Okay.
Somebody got a precept?
Yeah.
All right, get that.
It's Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
How do you depart, man? You detach yourself from the carnality way of life. You mortify your members, man. You know, you come out of this place from a spiritual aspect, all right? But you have to be elected to do that, man.
Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you.
Right. And it destroys us in every format, from a physical standpoint, by the air we smell, the food we eat, the water we drink, and even from a spiritual standpoint, his philosophies, man. Go ahead.
Even with a sore destruction.
Even with a sore destruction, man. And look at the state of our people, man. They're dead.
Okay. All right. This one coming, boy, GMS War is me. Psalms 9 and 20. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Selah.
Right. And how is He doing that? Hence the prophets, man. Because we're the sons of the Most High. Like, our lineage literally goes back to Yahweh Shem Shai, man. We're the sons of the Most High. These other cats are nothing but mortals, man. And when we get those spiritual bodies, man, we're going to have everlasting life, man. All right? It's a difference between Israel and these other nations, beginning with the elect.
God. This Psalm 64 and 7 says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
And that's why you see these whistleblowers, man. Basically, there was once part of a segment of these Edomite secret societies, and now they have their own YouTube videos trying to, I guess, liberate themselves with confession statements such as, okay, this is what America really is about. But at the end of the day, they're going to hell too, meaning they're going to the grave, and then once they come back, through the process of reincarnation, they're gonna be enslaved, man. Right, that's it, man.
Got it.
Yeah, hey, Lord willing, this lesson wasn't too long. Hope you were edified. All praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Badash.
A double honor to the apostles, the elders, and salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, Wakim.